This is part one of a 5-part video series on tips you might want to think about when you're creating a workshop. First thing, let's talk about framing. I have 2 main tips on what you should think about with framing. Number 1 is your spacing. This building here was built as a pole barn. As you can see, right here and up here we have a 4x4. I wanted to end up using studs for mounting different things on the walls and also for the insulation batting. As you can see right here, this is 16 on center. You could do 24 on center and there are insulation bats for the both. If you're gonna have a shop where you have a lot of storage mounted on the walls or other things that you're mounting on the walls and you want plenty of studs to choose from, go with your traditional 16 on center. But before we set in that framing right here, I need to finish off this wall and add foam board. And essentially what's happening is foam board will be filling this gap. Regular insulation batting will be in between this framing, so then we will have 2 styles of insulation. After I established what framing I wanted to do, I had to install it. For this specific building, it's a pre-built pole barn that I was just filling in the gaps. Pretty much used common sense for putting in these studs. The main thing you want to do is figure out which end of the building you want to start on and then mark your 16-inch marks all the way down and follow suit with all your studs. So I've established what framing spacing I want to do and I filled in this entire wall with 16 on center. But what if you want to add some openings? My 2 main framing openings are going to be my windows and doors. In working with the posts on this pole building, I utilized this post right here and basing the door and the window off of that. Also with your windows and doors, think about where you're going to be placing them around your building. For this window specifically, it's my only window, but I wanted it to have a view out into the yard. So I could put a workbench underneath it. So if I'm working on something, I'm not just having a bland wall right in front of me. And then for my walk-in door, it is the side closest to the house, therefore the easiest access on that side of the building. On the hinge side of the door, I did double studs, and on the other side of this pole here, I added a full-length stud before starting the rough opening of the window. Okay, so I now have the framing right here ready for the door to be put in, and basically all that's left is cutting out the metal here, and then I put the test fit of the door in here. So the next thing I'm doing right here with this gap is adding a 2x4 all along, so we have solid wood coming out to the metal. So we got to fill this gap. So you can just kind of see how my window framing is, not necessarily completely the right way, because up there, you know, I have no header or anything, but this has no structural support that is coming down on the window. All these up top are resting on this area. Pretty much this is just filler for getting insulation in here. This was the pole barn purlin that was already in place. So I had to add this to bring out the depth. That is where we are with the window so far. So I have all the doors and windows framed that I wanted to add on. As a bonus tip 3, look at your building and just creatively think about what you're going to be doing in that shop. For me, I had to look up. To achieve the maximum amount of space that I could on the bottom side of this pole building, I added in these stairs. To watch the video of how I made these stairs, you can click the pop-up link or click the one down below. Now these are some really simple tips to think about when you're in the beginning process of setting up your shop. If you're an expert in this field or you just have other ideas, be sure to comment them below because everyone can use the help.